Hello everyone, welcome to Coder and Boots. Today we are going to discuss about Git operations. So I am starting a new series that explains about various Git operations. So I'll do one operation per session. Here in this session we are going to discuss about the operation called clone. Okay, so this is a very common operation that almost all developers use because almost there. So when we have the code in the repository, so let's say it can be like a private repository or it can be even a public repository. So if you want to take the code out, so or if you want to copy the code, so the basic command that you need is clone. Okay, so let's get into this session. So in the last session we had a discussion about how to install Git client in a laptop. So the basic requirement for all these Git operations are basically you need Git client to be installed in your laptop or computer. So so you can download the Git client from the internet and install it. So I'm not going to explain you how to install in this session. It is already covered in a different video. You can check my channel for that video. So here we are going to just do clone. So let's get into the content quickly. So let's open the Git bash. I'm going to show the clone operation using command line. Okay, so I am opening the Git bash. So I am just getting into this directory. So because this is just an empty directory, just a directory, convenient directory for me. So it's an empty directory. So you can use your own directory. It's up to your choice. So now what we need is we need a repository to clone. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to the internet. Okay, so just search for maybe a popular repository which is Python Boto3 GitHub. Okay, so Boto3 is basically the AWS SDK for Python. So this is a very popular SDK and it has the code hosted in Git. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to the code section and there you can see clone. Okay, so for cloning they are giving the HTTPS URL. So what we need is we just need to copy the URL from here. Okay, so in the web itself there is an option you can directly download from here. So if you click on download a zip, the code will get downloaded. But if you want to clone or copy it to a different machine, so or to a command line interface, so what you can do is you can just copy this URL, then come here git. So I'm just creating a subdirectory because I'll be showing you multiple examples. Here are maybe Boto AWS. Okay, so I am getting into that Boto AWS directory. So the command is git. The simple command is git. There are multiple options available, but just the basic command is git clone and the URL. Okay, so once you have git clone and the URL, once you press enter, you see cloning Boto3 running, enumerating. So what it is doing is it is basically cloning the entire repository. It is basically cloning the metadata as well. So here if you do ls, you can see Boto3. So this is something that is copied from the GitHub, remote GitHub. So it did not ask me any credential because it's a public repository. It is open to the public. That's the reason the content got downloaded without entering the credential. So now let's compare. So you see Boto3 docs scripts. So you can see setup.py, setup.csg. So all these things you will be able to see here. So that means it got cloned here or copied here. Okay, so so you will see. So and another thing you see is when I cloned it, you can see here there is a, in brackets you can see something called develop. Okay, so because when I cloned the head branch, basically it cloned the current branch is basically develop. Okay, so if you want to change the branch, there is a different command. So let's verify the branches available here. So it has master is there, pytest migration, account id arg. So the command to change branch is git checkout. Okay, let's try master. Okay, so now you see it switched from the first branch to a different branch. I'm not going to explain this checkout command in detail here. So I just showed you like I'm in the basic clone command here. I'll explain the checkout command in a different video. Okay, so now Now let's try to clone. So right now I have used GitHub. Okay, so this is a different product. So I have GitLab also with me. You see here, this is GitLab. Okay, this is a different product, but the foundation is the same. Everything is basically Git. Okay, so it's the same thing. So internally, like the functionalities, the additional functionalities, it has differences, but the core functionality or the core aim is the same. Okay, so I cloned it. Now what I'm going to do is I have a private repository in my GitLab. Okay, so I'm going to trying to clone the private repository from my GitLab to here. Okay, so this is my private repository. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, here also it has, the interface is very much similar. It has something called clone with HTTPS. So this is awesome website. Okay, this is a simple sample private repository which is with me. You see a lock on the right hand side. That means it is only accessible. It's a private repository. And in this GitHub repository, if you see, so this is a public repository. So you can also just open it because it's public. You see, and at the top you can see public. Okay, so but this repo you will not be able to access because the access is not granted to you. So I'll show you how to clone a private repository. So here also let's copy the URL. Okay, now let's get into a different directory because I have already cloned it to this Boto directory, right? So I am creating a different directory, website. Let's get into the website directory. Okay, so now inside the website I am trying to do git clone and we have the URL. So I am pasting the URL. Now observe, let's see. Okay, you see cloning awesome website. It's kind of stuck here, but you see a pop-up came here. Okay, on the right hand side you can see there is a pop-up coming. That means it needs the credentials. Okay, there are 3 ways to log in here. So see, this interactive pop-up is coming because I have a laptop which has a GUI, interactive GUI. Okay, but if you are working on a Linux system which has only the terminal, these kind of pop-ups won't come. Okay, there we need to pass the credential along with this command itself. I'll show you how it is, but let me show you how to log in here. So there are 3 ways. One is you can just enter the credential by using sign in with the browser. That means you will click on this, enter the credential directly. Okay, second is basically using a token. Okay, using the username and the personal access token. Okay, third is using the username and the password. Okay, so here again, like you will be entering the username and password. So username and password method anyway, you know, because once you are inside the Git, you will have the username and the password. Okay, I'm not going to explain the browser and the password approach, but I'm going to explain the token approach. I'll show you first. Let's generate the token. Okay, for generating the token, so this is something that is this process is something similar in GitHub as well as GitLab. So what you need is you need to basically the user profile. So click on edit profile. There will be something on the left, something similar to access tokens. Okay, so this differs basically based on your provider, but there will be something called personal access token. Basically look for an option personal access token. So here you create something called add new token. Okay, I am going to create a test token. Okay, so and you can set the expiry date. Okay, expiry date means this token will be valid till this time. Okay, I'm not going to, so let me create it with a validity just maybe 2 days. Okay, and here you can specify the permissions. Okay, so this token is not just for using with the CLI, it can be used for programmatic and other access as well. So depending upon the access that you need, you can specify what all access you need to provide. Okay, so for cloning you just need read repository access. Okay, but if you want to write it back, you need write repository access. Okay, and if you want basically read user, create proxy, write registry, basically if you are interacting with the container registry, you need to give read registry. So you can have a look at the documentation and figure out the remaining permissions. But for this, what we need is we just need the read repository and the write repository privilege, and we just need to create this token. Okay, now you will see the token here. So if I click on this, it's an alphanumeric combination, it's a strong password. So I'm just copying this token. Okay, so it's a secret. So it's basically something that you should not share with anyone, because this token has the privilege whatever you have set in that check boxes. Okay, whatever privilege you set it over there, that will be given to this token. Okay, so now let's enter that token here. Okay, so the username is, okay, and then token, I am passing it here, sign in. Now you see here the clone started. Okay, now the clone worked. Now you see here awesome website, so it got cloned. Okay, this is the way it clones the content. And now I'll show you again. So now we have entered the credential. So next time if you are trying to clone something, okay, so let's say I am opening the command line again. So why I closed this, because I just wanted to show you like I reached something similar to, like, I mean, a next session or refresh session. So get inside the workspace. I'm going inside the folder again. So let me create a new directory. So I'll clone a different project. Okay, so I'm going to clone a different project. Okay, so maybe, yeah, this is another project with me. So what I'll do is I'll again clone this. Okay, so maybe now if I do git clone, paste this URL. So I'm not adding any credential here, I just pasted the URL. Okay, enter. So it is cloning. Okay, it cloned without even asking any credential. Okay, the reason is it cached, or the laptop, in this laptop basically my credentials got saved. Okay, so be careful. So if you are doing this kind of credential entry in someone else's laptop or in some public laptop, the credentials will be stored. Okay, so for that, if you want to clear the credential, so what you can do is you can go to control panel. So in the control panel there will be user accounts. Okay, click on user account, there will be something called credentials manager. Okay, and here manage Windows credentials is there. So inside the Windows credential, you see under the generic credentials section, you can see gitlab.com. So there's an entry for the gitlab.com. Okay, so you see whatever I have entered, coordinate boots, password, everything got saved here. Okay, you can remove it from here. So once you remove, it will be permanently removed from that laptop. Okay, now if I do this clone again, what will happen? It will ask the credential again. Okay, so that's about git clone. Okay, and you can clone it to a specific directory by specifying, like, let's say if you are specifying a directory on the right hand side of this one, it will clone it to that specific directory. There are some other options also along with clone, but to explain the basics, I think this is enough. So if you have any questions regarding this, feel free to comment below this video. I'll definitely respond back to you. So follow my channel, because I'll be taking more sessions in detail about the various commands, not just clone, but the remaining commands also in the upcoming videos. I hope this video is helpful. Thank you for watching this video.